the Underdogs podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jock Cowden. The most known unknown will realize.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Everybody's plotting on their downfall and maybe not expecting them to win, but they come out on top anyway.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
We're gonna work hard. We're gonna stay dedicated. We're gonna be motivated.
I don't know, being an underdog is probably more of a compliment for me.
Out of sight, out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking this scripture just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
If you move like keeping it peach and keeping it real, like that's an underdog.
Surpass those long expectations. You're able to keep going no matter what.
You want to keep setting an example for people to follow. So the underdog isn't the loser.
Underdog is really honing in on your talents, dog. Don't let the compliments get you high.
But as an underdog, all you got is you. That's when you at your peers. You have to go through that phase so that you can be prepared for what's coming your way.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdogs podcast. We on season 9, episode 5. We Are the Dream, featuring singer-songwriter Olivia Joy, Charlotte's own. You dig what I'm saying? Before we bring in, though, we got to let y'all know what's going on. This is Olivia Joy. We Are the Dream, live at Charlotte Hornets Music Industry Night.
I ain't no dream killer, yeah, I'm a dream liver. I ain't no dream killer, yeah, I'm a dream liver.
They ain't got no dream. They ain't want no dream. It's me. I hit the road at 3. Yeah.
Nah, first and foremost, that song a whole vibe. Like it's just high vibrational, you know. It's a uplifting type of tone to it, you know. Like it's playlist bound and something you want. I can really hear that the placement, like in a movie or you know. Yeah, that's definitely that though. But
Thank you. Thank you.
so give us the backstory though of that feeling, you know, being at the Charlotte's Arena and stuff like that, you know, performing that song. Like, what's the backstory on it? Like, how it came about?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I came across the opportunity through a DJ, a well-known DJ in Charlotte named DJ Chuck T. And so I went ahead and I like we had to. It was one of those things where you got to pay to perform, you know, pay to play.
Yeah,
So
you gotta invest.
yeah, so I went ahead, purchased my ticket, and that it was actually Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving time. So my whole entire family, from like my extended family on my mom's side, was in town, and it just so happened that I had the performance that same weekend. So right before, like the day before, so I had been rehearsing it, practicing it, whatever. The
Yeah.
day before the show, I performed it for my family first to kind of like, you know, get my nerves out because I knew I was going to be in the arena. I never performed in an arena before. So I didn't know how many people there was going to be. Like, I didn't know none of that. So they loved it. So that kind of gave me like, you know, a boost of like confidence. And then performing it at the actual arena, it was amazing. Like it was the only people that were allowed in there were the people who purchased tickets to like come to the show and stuff like that. So you don't see people behind me, but there's like people in front of me. And yeah, it was just amazing. I got to go to the game. They had like a whole conference beforehand with some like people from the industry and stuff like that. So I got to learn some stuff too. But yeah, I was on a high like the whole time. And I was waiting to go because originally I was supposed to be like one of the first people to go. And so when I wasn't, I'm like, cause you know, sitting there, my nerves are getting a little, you know. And I ended up being like the second to last person, but it was perfect because it felt like we were ending on such a high. So it was really great.
Nah, facts. Like I feel like there's some like, you know, because you know how it is when you show up to places too. I'm not gonna say with the arena event, but like say you perform somewhere in the club, you do something like everybody don't be there right away to do that first type of thing. Like so it's always like something like that. I would say save that for the middle to the last or close it out with that, you know. Nah, big fact. So let's talk about 2025 though. You know, we 5 months into the year. Like, how are you feeling mentally and creative, you know, in the moment of the year?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good actually. I am I have an album that has been sitting for probably like a few months now. So it's all written. I'm just waiting to, you know, take it into production, but I am prepping to produce an album soon. So that's fun.
That was up. And
Mhm.
speaking of We Are the Dream, you know, like I said, it's a powerful, uplifting anthem. Like, you know, what message are you sending with that release? You know, as you brought that like the top of the year, you know, you released that.
I just wanted people to know that for one, we can dream. Like, I realize there's just like everywhere I go, honestly, even sometimes in myself, sometimes it feels like dreams can be stifled or lost in translation, you know? So I was just like, you know what? Instead of, I feel like, because, you know, music and doing this is my dream. So to take it like globally and internationally, you know? So I was just like, okay, well, instead of like reaching for it, let me just embrace the fact that I am the dream first. And like everything that is meant to come to me is going to come to me exactly the way that it should.
I like how you just said that. I'm always like, I'm a firm believer in the universe and how everything works. You know, it's just like when you just focus on what you know you're doing, the craft, whatever, everything that comes with that craft is gonna come to you. So whether it's money and abundance of like joy or whatever, like, cause it's all fun when you really love what you're doing. You know?
Yeah.
I can see that when you up there performing and stuff like, yeah, you really like this is what you love to do. You know?
I love it.
even the reflection of last year, you know, in 2024, like what are some things you learned that helped you prepare for 2025?
You said some things I learned.
Yeah, anything like I don't look at things as losses. I look at it as like situations or something that's gonna, you know, help us move forward, you know, so it's a learning curve. I don't really look at it like, you know, because this game come with a lot of ins and outs and stuff, but it just come
Okay.
you know, prepare to get ready for what's next.
Yeah. I would say I definitely learned to just have faith in the process rather than trying to force the process. I think in 2024, like the difference between then and now, I was working so hard, and don't get me wrong, I'm still definitely working hard, but I was working from a standpoint of like, if I don't do this, then it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think now I just feel a lot more like trusting in the process and the fact that it's coming. It's just, you know, when the time is right, it'll come. So everything that I'm doing from now up until that time and even through that time, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. And as long as I'm doing that, then I'm good. So I just think I have learned to trust in the process a lot more and just allow myself to rest in the faith of my dream and just knowing that it's going to come when it
Yeah,
comes.
it's gonna come. It's just like as long as you don't forget the principles of like we just gotta keep going. We gotta keep making this music. We gotta keep impacting the world. We gotta, cause you the only like you know you the only Olivia Joy out here. So it's just like the message has to be put out there. You know. So
Yeah.
as we push the importance of knowing ourselves, you know, like in your words, who is Olivia Joy becoming?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I would say Olivia Joy is becoming. Hmm. I think that's exactly what I would say Olivia Joy is becoming. Like
Mhm.
I feel like every day is an opportunity to be brand new. Is an opportunity to try again, to start over, to continue, to do whatever, you know, makes me feel good about me. And I feel like all of that is me becoming who I'm supposed to be. So I can't say I fully, you know, like arrived at her yet. And I don't want to say that, honestly. Like I want to continue to um, experience different parts of me, different levels of me, different areas of what I can do and what I'm capable of. So, yeah, Olivia Joy is becoming, period.
Nah, yeah, I like that because it's like it's so much more to do, you know,
Yeah,
in a sense. So it's just like it's the journey. Like it's still much more to do, you know. It's like we can like that's what keep me so humble with the music and stuff and just trusting the process. It's like, okay, I got this and that going on, but it's global, not local, you know, as the vision. International is, you know, so if I'm not walking in the room and people running up and just recognize me, or I can be here and there, and everybody not saying my music, it's still much more work to do. I
yeah,
can't get comfortable with this accolade over here because that's gonna stop me, like, because I'm thinking about it so much. Like, this not the end point though, you know.
exactly. Yeah.
So, so take us back to Charlotte. You know, what was life like growing up in the Queen City, and what makes it special to you as an artist?
Life in the Queen City is it's fun. It was fun. Okay, well, I will admit now it's I don't maybe I just have to experience it in a different light because I'm older now, so the way that I experienced it when I was younger is a little different than how I would experience it now. But growing up was definitely it was fun. Like it's a lot of stuff to do here. Honestly, this is like one of the cities of the North Carolina that is actually like is more populated.
Mm.
But and because of that, there's a lot more like attractions and stuff to do. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Let me see. I'm trying to think. What was like one of my? I used to always be at the mall when I was young. Just be at the
Oh
mall.
yeah, that mall. I forgot
Yeah,
what that mall called though. I've been
yeah.
there before. Yeah,
Concord
yeah,
Mills.
Concord. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Concord
yeah.
Mills. Yeah,
Hmm.
I just used to be at Concord Mills for no apparent reason. Like, what was I
That's
doing?
the one that got the they got like the hockey. They had the hockey rink and something like that, right? Is that
It
the
was
one?
No, if they had kind of, but it was a
Yeah.
car like speed park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they look like they used to have like it was some type of thing at the bottom, like it was like they played hockey though. They probably changed it. I don't know.
Oh, Dave and Buster's.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. This a while ago. We talking like
Okay. Yeah, because I'm talking
mid
it's the
2010.
same
Yeah,
stuff
so if
we
they
went to.
changed it, yeah, they
Yeah.
probably changed.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was fun. I used to always just be at the mall or be downtown for no apparent reason at all. But yeah, life is fun.
So what you feel like, being from where you from, what makes your city unique and stand out amongst other cities, Because Charlotte is definitely one of those cities that get brought up as well when you mention North Carolina. So
Charlotte is, how can I explain Charlotte? Charlotte is one of those cities that I feel like what makes it so special is that is the community of it, honestly. Like you can go somewhere in Charlotte, and maybe it's just because it's a little bit smaller than like other cities. I mean, though it's still like a bigger city in North Carolina, it still is smaller in comparison to like other state cities.
Yeah.
So you can literally go somewhere and know somebody that you met like 3 years prior, and then just all of a sudden see them, and it's like it gives that same vibe. I mean, unless you got beef with that person.
Nah, fact.
Unless there's some beef, but
Yeah.
generally without that, you can go somewhere and like, see people. People are so like friendly here, and I noticed that must be a Southern thing or just depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
But that Southern hospitality is real. So like if you see somebody like stopped on the side of the road, like people will get like pull off the highway, get out of their car and like go to help them. And I think that sense of like community is something that makes Charlotte really special. Charlotte will definitely always be home for me. So
No, so that's a lot of humility because a lot of that stuff is missing nowadays,
yeah,
like
yeah.
people just be, I don't know. But so you started performing in your living room, writing poetry and singing with your sisters. Like, what do you remember most vividly about that time?
So my sister, my oldest sister, she is into music as well. She's a singer too. And she used to sing, and at that time I wouldn't like, she would sing out more than me, like around people. And so anytime I would hear her sing, I would literally like her voice. It would literally like move me to tears, like just listening to her sing sometimes. And then other times I would be in the living room and I would start like lip singing and like doing a whole performance to the song that she's singing upstairs. So that's something I vividly remember. There was a time my siblings and I were making pancakes, right? And you're the first person to know this. This is really funny. But there was a time we was making pancakes, and my oldest sister, she used to make these like really good pancakes for us. That's when like we figured out how to like make them crispy on the sides, like on the outside with the butter and first. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were making pancakes and one fell on the floor. One of the pancakes fell on the floor, and my little sister, she picks it up like real quick and she eats it. And so we made this whole song, and we call it the pancake song. And at the very end of the song, I don't know if I want to sing it for you, but at the very end of the song, my little sister, we're like 5-second rule, and my little sister is like 5 chicken roll because she doesn't know how to like say the words. So that's a fond memory that I always go back to when I think about music and like growing up with music.
So like, even with like situations like that, being able to make a song just out of a pancake falling on the floor,
Yeah.
How did that like teach you about, the joy and creativity and connection, like, the bond that you and your sisters had, but then the joy of, making music and just being creative with something like that, because as an artist, I feel like we just pull strings out of nowhere to make these songs. Like,
yeah.
I be telling people I don't know where these lyrics come from, to be honest. That's why if I make it, I make it. But you ask me where it came from, I don't know. It's like I downloaded the information and it just went.
Right, and it's just there, right? I would definitely say that shows me that, and like other experiences that I had, because like I grew up writing poetry too. Poetry was like really big for me, and I feel like a lot of music is really just like poetry with rhythm, in a sense, or it can be sometimes. So, um, I don't know. It just really allowed me to be able to like take random experiences and like tap into the feeling of them, the description of like what exactly was happening. Like that helps me write songs too. And to just know that really creativity, like I don't have to be limited to whatever I'm thinking in my mind. I can really just go somewhere. I can make a whole song about us being on this podcast right now, about being an underdog and all that other stuff. So
Real talk.
it just taught me that like I can really take from the experiences of my life and make it fun and make it creative, even the painful ones. So
Yeah, I feel like as artists, like we paint pictures with words. We just
yeah,
another form of art. So it's like when people hear it, they absorb it and they visualize it. Or it just might take them, they can be in a certain type of mood, and that's how music is. It's the frequency and the vibrations. So it's like when you hear a song like, when we open up with, it's just like it gives that good feeling throughout the whole body.
yeah,
Soon as if somebody was to hear that song, then you gotta know the lyrics, they're gonna feel the vibration of it though and feel good. They're gonna want to run it back.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
so when did you first realize music was more of a hobby, that it was more of like your passion and your calling?
2022. 2022. Definitely. I actually remember the moment too. I was in the car with my mother, and I remember like I felt so like something was missing, like in my life. And I was working at a job at the time, and I was just like, this is nice and all. I had just came home from college, like I had just graduated college. And I was like, this is nice, but something in me wants more for myself. Like there's something in me that is missing. And I just remember looking up and I just asked God, like, all right, so what's up? Like what do you want me to do? What is it that I'm meant to do? Because I don't feel like where I'm at right now is it. And like I had experimented with like, doing different things, and don't get me wrong, like I love all aspects of being creative and being an artist, not just music. But it was like there was nothing really like bringing me home. You know what I'm saying? Like pulling me to want to keep doing it. Like the thing that I would wake up every single day thinking about wanting to do and going after. So I remember being in the car, and all of a sudden my mom hit the blinker thing, and it was like, and it reminded me of a metronome. Like it was just so random. And it reminded me of a metronome. And I'm like, why am I thinking about this? Okay, so I tried to like push it off. Next thing you know, I'm at the light, and the light is like flashing, like it's like blinking again. And it's like, again, it's reminding me of a metronome. And then suddenly, like my mom, there was no music playing at all. My mom turns on the radio, and the first thing is like, follow your heart. It was like some song about following your heart and like listening to like that gut feeling. I was just like, okay. So it's music. It's music. And then literally I remember going home from wherever we were going, and going home, and I just started writing songs. I probably wrote like 15 songs in like 3 days. I just started writing just a
That's
bunch of
hard.
songs. Yeah, it's like all of that from like the years, I guess, that it wanted to come out. It just poured all out, and it was just like magic, like beautiful.
So even speaking of like writing songs and recording and stuff, like what's your favorite part of the process when you're making music? Is it listening to the beat? Is it writing the lyrics? Is it going to record the lyrics? Is it, because you're a singer, is it harmonizing, trying to figure out your cadence in the songs? Like, what's the favorite part though that like get you, give you the joy of it?
My favorite part is, I would say now my favorite part is being in the studio, like actually being in the studio. And I don't mean like studio, like that's fun too, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But where I made We Are the Dream, I worked with a producer out in Nashville, and he had his whole like, you know, grand studio set up in his house.
Yeah.
And so that for me is just, I love that vibe. Like I love the home studio vibe. I love like
Mm-hmm.
just being able, like just me and the producer. He was producer slash engineer for me. So me and whoever I'm working with just being just being us two. Like I don't like a bunch of people in the session. I just like it me and the person
Yeah.
who
For
needs to be,
real.
you know. So that's like the favorite part because I feel like I can be the most like open. I can tap into like the parts of me that maybe I would be a little bit more like shy to do in front of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, like it's nice to do things in front of people too, just to like get out of the nerves and get out of my head and stuff like that. But I really love just being in the studio and it just being me. Even if I could, the way it was set up for me for We Are the Dream is it was like one big room and I was like off to the side and he's over here. But even if it's like me in a closet or like me in a separate room, that is one aspect of an actual studio that I do like is like being in a separate room because I feel like
Yeah.
I can paint the vibe, I can light some candles, I can do what I need to do for me to allow myself to go there and really do what I need to do for the song.
So like when you recording this stuff in the studio, I'm gonna ask you, as being an artist, do you feel some type of energy that come over your body? Like when you record, like you just feel a sense of being heightened in a way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. Well, okay. Honestly, it depends. It depends on the song.
Mm.
Because if I'm doing something like I have a song out called Breathe, and
Yeah.
when I recorded that song, I was, I mean, if you listen to the song, you probably know the place that I was in at the time. But that song is a little bit more tear jerking and emotional. So it didn't really give me a heightened feeling. It just more gave me like a sense of like freedom to express myself that way, you know?
Mm.
But with We Are the Dream, I definitely felt heightened and like the way that me and that producer worked together, that was really great too, because he kind of he was a big part in making We Are the Dream happen. Like I will give him that hands down. He was a big part in making that happen. I don't just mean with the beat making and being the engineer at the studio, like he was very invested in the song and like, all right, say that line again, but say it this way. All right, give it more.
Mm-hmm.
He helped me with some of the harmonies. Like we were in there and he would do a harmony and then I'm like trying to mimic the harmony that he's doing. So he was he was a big part in that. And I feel like that experience definitely made me feel heightened even more because it made me more excited. And it's always great to work with people who are just as passionate about what you're doing and like as you are. So
Yeah, nah, I feel that because I like to stick with certain, individuals because I know when they do it, it's just like they gonna bring something out of me, even more, rather than just studio time. Here you go, and all right, let's, I can't work with nobody like that because I know they in it for the wrong reason. You got to match
right.
my vibe and energy, like
Yes.
so.
Mhm. And
So
shout
when
out
it,
to my producer, Ghost. His name is Ghost. Just want to shout him out.
yeah, shout out to him for sure.
Mhm.
So your music is real, raw, and filled with soul. Like what does songwriting do for you emotionally or spiritually?
Woo, it does so much. That question alone just gives me like chills. Like it fills me up with something. Um, Songwriting, I definitely am a storyteller at heart. I've always been that way since I was baby Olivia Joy. But songwriting specifically, I feel like that's just where I can. Okay, so when I first started it in 2022, when I told you I wrote like 15 songs,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like everything that I had in me, everything that I had been holding for such a long time, I could just pour it out on the paper with no judgment. I didn't have nobody looking at me or reading what I was writing. Like, you gonna say that, you know?
Yeah.
Or I think it's really just the freedom of being able to express myself in that authentic way without the judgment that could come from others. And don't get me wrong, like people are gonna be people at the end of the day, and I know
Yeah.
that
Fact.
for a fact. But initially that was songwriting for me, and I love it so much because of that. And I would say now I still love it for that reason, though I am more open to being open without fearing that judgment, you know. But even now, like, songwriting for me is still a place where I can be open and I can pour my heart out into that paper, but it's also the creative process of it, like seeing a song come together. Like, I love, from my first draft to my final draft, like just like looking at all those pages, like, wow, like it took me, like, some songs it takes me like 3 pages, and some songs just pour out and they just write themselves. Honestly, some songs I feel like God just gives me the words and it just comes out itself. Other
That's what
songs,
I be feeling when you just
yeah,
feel like,
yeah, it's like I
yeah,
don't know where it came from. It's just like God just dropped it on my mind, and I was like, all right, I'm writing.
yeah.
But other songs, it's like it takes some time. It takes some time to get it out. So it's like I was just working on this one song. I'm actually rewriting a song, and it took me like 10 pages, and I still don't have the song yet. But I know when it's time for the song to come, it'll come. But some songs, they just take that, you know, that extra oomph, and the process of that is really fulfilling for me. It's so tedious and it's work, but it is so fulfilling. I could do that. I could do that every day. I could write a song every day and love it all the same.
Yeah, it's almost like magic.
Yeah.
I be feeling like artists, we're a part of hard works. We
Yeah.
literally like a part of Harry Potter world because we just cook up so much.
Mhm.
Um, so you mentioned Lauryn Hill, Beyonce, and even Earl Smith. You know, what do these artists have in common that help shape your sound?
Soul, definitely. Soul. They all have a certain, and it could just be that era and that time of music that each of them come from, but they all have a certain authenticity to to their to their to their songs, but also to their songwriting and the way that the song is structured. And like Lauryn Hill, one of my favorite songs by Lauryn Hill is X Factor. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
I keep letting you back in. I love that song. I could listen to that song every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. And that to me is like timeless music.
Yeah,
And
timeless
yes,
everything.
and I love the way, like, each of these artists, and Aerosmith, their bands, each of them, they have this way of like writing the song, but it's also like they're not just writing the song to write the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell there was so much intentionality. There was so much like heart that was put into it, and even in the way like it changes up. Like, I'm not a linear song girl. I don't like my songs just sounding one way the entire time.
Oh
I like
yeah.
for it to change up in melody. I need a little, so even if the beat, because, and like in We're the Dream, the beat doesn't change much, but the melody of the lyrics changes a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
like that, I need some form of like some form of switch up, some form of something. Like, I need something when it comes to that. And I definitely feel like Beyonce, Lauryn Hill, Aerosmith, even Mary J. Blige, love her,
Mm-hmm.
have influenced my style and my songwriting and the way that I write songs, and how I am able to access certain melodies and stuff too.
Nah, you said a lot because I feel as an artist, like it's one thing to hear a beat, right? So
Yeah.
it's like the producer that made the beat, they're not gonna know how artist is really gonna come off on it. They got their own idea, but I always say it's like when you got the ability to take the beat and do it the way you want to do it, like you say, when you change your cadence or certain parts, you might do this on this, and like that's powerful as an artist. That shows a lot of talent, you know, to be attentive like that. Like, you know, you might start off a certain way, and then when it gets to this one part of this transition, you take it to a whole nother level, you know.
Mhm.
Cause it's like you captivating the listeners' ears when they get to that certain part. You know how they gonna be like, oh yeah, I like that, or they
Yeah.
might just that might be the part they remember, you know, like memorable in the song. You know that they gonna go back and all right, this is my part right here, or this where
Right.
it's
It's
coming in
coming.
at.
It's coming.
Yeah, real talk. So Was your path in music most self-taught, or did someone help you develop your voice along the way?
Um, let's see. It's kind of both. I would say so when I decided to like, take really pursue my dream in 2022, I did seek vocal lessons because I knew that I I seek to be great, and I knew that in order to be great, I needed someone to help me to like nurture the gift that I already had of singing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I still am in vocal lessons now. I'm not with the same, like I've had different ones throughout the years, but um yeah, so I still am in training now. Just trying to get better, and access different areas of my gifts and really push it past what I know, what I am aware of what it can do. So I would say both because I naturally had the gift of voice. I naturally
Mm-hmm.
had the gift of, as honestly most of us do, we just don't know that we do. Um, and I naturally had the gift of words and being able to write. I was always a writer, even in school, like writing essays.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like that was always something I really enjoyed. Like I always loved to sit down and just write about it, unless it was like a bunch of research that was like,
Yeah.
but
Oh, that's
um,
one of the ones where it lets you kind of do your
yeah,
own narrative with it rather than
yes,
just going back and grabbing stuff
yes,
to like say I got it from here, I got it from there.
yes.
When you got free range, it's like
Mhm.
it convinced me on the essay or something or persuade me with this, then yeah,
Yeah,
I'm all in.
exactly. And I used to
Mm-hmm.
love when like I had like professors in college. I had a professor in college who he was really hard on me, but it was because he saw that I really cared about the writing, and I loved it because I was just like, make me better, like I know that I can do this thing, but I want to be better at it. I don't want to just be where I'm at and just be like, all right, I'm good. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, no, I want to get better and better and better. And I just love being able to like have someone that can facilitate that growth. But I would definitely say that it all started with me just like God just giving me these natural abilities that I already had that he just put me, in path with the right people to help nurture and grow it even more. And I'm still growing, so I love it.
Nah, facts. Like it's the things like it's just like being a ball player. It's like you can naturally know how to play ball, but when you go get with that trainer, he's gonna enhance everything that you already have already.
Yes.
So it's the part of the process of like it's never too late to learn. There's always other things to learn. Like we don't know it all fully. Like
Yeah.
we might know what we doing, but it's just they say iron sharpen iron. So it's like if I could sit in the room with one of my favorite artists or something and get the game or try to figure out things, I might leave with a lot. So nah, I definitely don't feel that. So if
Hmm.
someone had never heard Olivia Joy before, what are 3 songs you'll tell them to listen to? Like, and what would these songs teach them about you?
Mm. These are great questions. All right. Definitely We Are the Dream. We Are the Dream is just, you got to listen to We Are the Dream. If you know about Olivia Joy, you need to listen to We Are the Dream. Okay. Um, but I think that song would definitely kind of like what I said before, just like, honestly, no, let's change it up a little bit. I think that song humanizes me a lot
Mm,
because I the way that I'm describing, being the dream in that song, like, yeah, I am like, look, it's me. I hit the road at 3. Like, yeah. And that's all fun, but there's definitely like parts in there where the verses where I'm talking about how like life is tough and like going through like, these different experiences um and doing certain things like those are things that are also a part of being the dream. Like the dream isn't just the bright lights and the fancy cars and the being up on
mm,
stage or whatever the dream may be for someone else. Like it's not just the destination and it's not just where we see ourselves. It's everything that happens in the process of that. So I feel like We're the Dream definitely humanizes me more. And yeah, another one would be Breathe. Breathe is mhm. Breathe is a great song because when I wrote that song, I was in a different place. And I'm not gonna give away too much. I want people to go and listen to it. But
Yeah.
I was in a place where it was hard for me. It was real hard for me. And I was like, you know what? Like, what can I do right now instead of flocking to the things that in my mind I really want to flock to that are not going to make me any better? It's really just going to backtrack me and make me feel worse about myself later on. I was like, all right, I can breathe. So let's just breathe. And then boom, started writing a song about it. And that's how Breathe came to be. And so I feel like that song, when one listens to that song, at least I hope that they feel the essence of that, like just being in that place and being able to breathe through it, because that was literally how I wrote that song. And how that song came about, and even recording it, I
Yeah.
wasn't completely out of that place mentally. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It's not just like a moment to moment thing. But I wasn't completely out of that place. So even recording it, I feel like I was able to kind of convey that in the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope people, you know, feel that from that song and that it helps them breathe too. Let's see, a third song. I would say Let Go. Let Go was my very first song.
Yeah.
And I listen to that song now and I'm like, yo, there's so many things I would do differently as a writer. You know, the writer in me is like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it was my first song, and I intend to leave it that way and just let it be
Yeah.
the first of Olivia Joy. You know, that was the first, like, and it was a bop. At least to me, it was a bop. I need to let you go. It was a bop. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, well. So yeah, I would like people to listen to that song just because I think that it's a bop.
Nah, facts. Like, I feel like sometimes as artists too, like that's why sometimes it's better off just if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like because sometimes I'd be like, I don't like that because if you notice, uh, some artists before they got signed, I always say fairly well, Trap Queen was out for like 2 years before it blew up. If you listen to Trap Queen, the original version, and you listen to when he went in the studio and did it, it's like two different sounds, you know, but
Yeah.
it's like people always are like the real and raw one, that the one that they love the most. Cause all it is the label re-releasing it and now it's up under their umbrella. They don't own the original recording. So it's like you gotta come back and record this again like this, you know. So
Yeah.
nah, definitely.
I love Trap Queen when it came out. I was
Yeah,
obsessed.
yeah.
That
It
was like
went
the anthem
crazy.
for real.
It went crazy.
Yeah.
So you once said, you know, that during the performance of Stupid Ways, the crowd sang a cappella.
Yeah.
And like it felt, you know, electric to you. So like what made that night unforgettable?
Oh my goodness. I can't help but to smile when I think about it. It was such a great night. Um, it was amazing because, so let me take you back just a little bit. So right before going to perform for that show, so I had a 15-minute set. That was the longest set at the time that I had had. I think that was in 2023, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, that was the longest set I had ever done because I was just used to going to open mics and doing like 2 songs,
Yeah.
or going to like, you know, a show that I figured out about through somebody else and doing like 2 or 3 songs. So I had a 15-minute set and I did like 7 or 8 songs probably. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
really excited about it, but I was struggling so much in rehearsals beforehand. Like, oh my goodness, it was to the point where like, and on that song specifically, it was to the point where I literally practiced myself to tears because I felt like I couldn't get it right. And you know, I was just practicing by myself, so I was a lot more in my head than
Yeah.
if somebody was sitting right there like, no, you're good. It's okay. You got it. So, um yeah, I had literally just cried before that show.
For real.
Yes.
Like before getting on stage, like, all right, I gotta go do
Yeah,
this.
like literally, and my sisters were coming with me, and I'm so grateful that they decided to come. I don't even think they really wanted to come, not out of not supporting, just because they didn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so grateful that they came because I felt like in that moment I really needed that support or just somebody to be there to take me out of my head because I was very much in my head. And I was probably practicing for like 2 hours, even on the day of the show. I would never suggest anybody do that because that no. But unless it's like a run through, you know, but I would
Yeah.
never do that again.
I feel like you should just really just be
Yeah.
resting. Like at that
Yeah,
point.
at that point, it's like if you don't have it, then it's just gonna be what it is. Because
Yeah.
so but you know, I was still trying to figure out my flow. I was still trying to figure out like what worked for me and what didn't. So I was literally in tears right before driving to the show. I get to the show, of course, you know, I'm game faced now. It's time.
Mhm.
It's my time. Get up on the stage. And when I tell you it was only like it was and this is the community of Charlotte that I'm talking about. It was a community of artists that I had just met over time. Some people showed up because they heard that I was going to be there. And that was the first time I had ever had that said to me. Like, I didn't know, I was just going to shows or paying to perform because I'm just trying to put myself out there, you know what I'm saying, get immersed in the community. But I never knew that someone would actually come to a show to show up for me because they want to see me, you know? So that was really encouraging too. And I think that gave me a little boost too. But I think because I practiced so much beforehand, I hopped up on that stage and I was just like, you know what? I was literally just like, fuck it, because at this point, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And
Mhm.
that was the best decision ever because I got up on that stage and I just didn't even care. And it was still to this day, that was one of the best performances I have ever had. And it was because I just, in that moment, I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna just get up there and have fun. That's my only job, is to have fun. So, I know that was long-winded, but okay, going back to Stupid Ways and singing that part.
Mhm.
I didn't think that they were gonna sing with me like that. And so it was shocking to me because I was like, it's not even that many people in this room. It was probably like 30 people, but
Yeah.
the place was like a little bigger, so it was scattered. So imagine 30 people in a bigger place and they kind of all scattered. They're not in like a cluster or nothing like
Mhm.
that, you know. So and it sounded like, I even have a video of it on my Instagram, but they sounded like it was like 100 plus
Like
of
a
them in
choir and
yeah, like the
yeah.
way that they sang, and I was just like, wow, oh my goodness. And yeah, that just made me feel so good. It made me feel loved. It made me feel like what I was doing was worth it, because that was, and I needed that, because literally, like I just said before that, I was really in my head about it. Imagine like all the, you know, all the thoughts I was having that brought me to tears about to get up on the stage and do this thing
Yeah.
and now I got to do it in front of people. So it's like, that was really, not only was it electrifying, it was encouraging for me. Like I needed it in that time, but it's also a core memory in my brain now. Like I feel like I can be in an arena performing with thousands and thousands of people, and I will still never forget about that time that those 30 people sang for me.
Yeah. It's like once you have moments like that, it's just like that's always gonna pivot like you much higher in any
Yeah.
situation. It's just
Yeah.
that one time. All you need is one time to go through it and know that hey, this anything can be done from here. You know,
Yes.
I say if it's a room with 30, it can be a room with 15. If I had everybody just doing that, that's just more like
Yeah.
gives me clarity on a lot of things, you know.
Most definitely.
Um, so you also opened up for comedians in Brooklyn and sung, you know, on arena stages. Like, how do those vastly different spaces, you know, influence your connection with the audience, though? You know, because your artist being in the setting with comedians or like any setting
Yeah.
that you might be in, you know, but like how does like those different spaces though? Like if it ain't just music, but it might be a collaboration of creators that come together, you know.
Right. I would definitely say it's performing in different settings, and even just like walking up to people and just singing a song for them because I'm just trying to put myself in front of people. It teaches me how to maneuver with different audiences, you know, because
Mhm.
not every, and I'm a firm believer, don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in just doing what I feel feels good, and the people who it's meant to connect with, it'll connect with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
But I definitely also feel like as a performer, so that's the artist in me, but the performer in me is like, there are going to be certain times where the audience isn't like, it's not a music show. Like I'm performing at a comedy show. So they're expecting to hear jokes. And I'm
Mhm.
just like a walk on. Like they literally just threw me up on the stage because I was there.
Mhm.
And so that was just like one of the first opportunities that I had. And then the other comedians followed, and then people were prepared. But definitely that first one, it was like um, people aren't expecting to hear that. But instead of feeding into that thought and what people are not expecting to do and blah blah blah, I was just like, I'm gonna just get up there and do my thing. And if they like it, they like it. If they love it, they love it. If they don't, they don't, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just taught me to not only be able to maneuver with different audiences and kind of like maybe, you know, performing for the comedy set, maybe right before I start singing, I'll crack a random joke, not like a jokey joke, but like a something that's just funny that makes people laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And engage them that way, so that, and I maybe I wouldn't do that at a music show. So it's taught me how to maneuver, but it's also taught me to just kind of have the mindset of like, whatever happens, happens. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And I'm okay with that either way.
Yeah, that's powerful. You just gotta look at it like that. But the
Yeah.
fact that you being able to pivot and like set the tone wherever you at. So like you say, if it's a comedy show, let me just talk to them a little bit and engage
Yeah.
them. Once you got them hooked in, and you just go from there. You know, so
Right.
yeah, it's his ability to just be a chameleon. You know,
Mhm.
so has there like ever been a moment you felt like walking away from music? If so, what pulled you back in? Like you ever had like a, cause you know,
Yeah.
life be life, and sometimes we do take moments where it's like I might write a song this month, or I might write 5 songs, whatever. I might not write another song for however long, and then something just pulls me back in. Like you can't
Yeah.
get away from me. It's like a relationship. You
Yeah.
can't get away from me if you wanted to. I'm gonna pop up. I'm gonna be. It's like music, like a stalker. It's gonna
Yes.
pop up everywhere you want, like you think of in life. So
Yes. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, there is so many times that I thought to myself, like, yo, how much longer can I keep doing this? And it wasn't that I didn't want to keep doing it. Of course, this is the thing that I love. I would do this in my sleep. I would do this like if the world was against me, I would still do my music. I would still do my music. So it's like it's one of those things that I love, but there have been moments where it was like, all right, are we really going to keep going? And I think honestly, in those times, like you said, like it won't go away. Like something will happen randomly, so randomly, something will happen. And it's like I'll either hear somebody say something that's like, keep going, or some random sign just from somewhere that's like speaking to me, you know. It'll either be that or it'll be like there's been a few times actually this at the beginning of this year where life was lifing. Like you said, life was really lifing, and it didn't make me want to give up. It just made me like it made me want to slow down and like wean myself off of it because I wanted to focus on life more. But I was like, nah. And I think in that moment I just had to literally pray and just be like, all right, I don't got the tools. I don't know what to do. I barely have any resources, like where I was at in that time. I barely have any resources. I don't know what to do. It's just me, my voice, my dream. So, all right, guide the way and show me what to do. And then, like, next thing you know, boom, something happens, or like somebody reaches out to me. Or even when it wasn't somebody reached out to me, I woke up the next morning feeling an energy like, okay, I can keep going. I can keep going. I can keep going. So I think in those moments, it's a compilation of, you know, little signs that just happen that's like keep pushing, keep going, or like, you know, like when you read something random, come across a random post and it's like speaking to you.
for
A lot
real.
a lot of those. Definitely prayer, and then definitely also just like there was a point in time where I actually reached out for encouragement because I was like, you know what, I need help. And it's okay for me to ask for help because I'm not a girly to, you know, really do that. But I think that even taught me in that time that if I am struggling and if I do need that extra encouragement, I have a community of people who are watching my dreams unfold before their eyes, and people who actually support me, who I can be like, all right, yeah, I just need a little bit of encouragement. And they really came through. So it was like it was nice. It was nice. Compilation.
Nah, but it's like the deeper you get into your, in your craft and what you're doing and being an artist is like you low key built your community like that too.
Mhm.
So it's like it's gonna be a lot of support there.
Yeah.
And then and then it's like it's like you gotta keep going because you got people that's like relying on you to keep dropping this music. Like
Yeah.
they need the music.
Yeah.
Um, so as a woman navigating the music world, like what have you learned about, protecting your voice literally and metaphorically?
Um, Literally, I would say I validate myself a lot. Like I give myself space to take up space, really. Like
Mm,
I'm okay with walking into a room and saying what I have to say because I know that it's worth saying and I know that I care about what it is that I have to say and I know that I'm validated in that. And me being a woman doesn't make me any less validated. So, but I definitely we've also as a society we've come long ways in that,
yeah,
so shout out to all the pioneers and the people who way before me were like one of the first women to speak up and allow their voice to be heard. So definitely shout out to them because that boldness allows me to have the boldness that I have now. But also um, I just honestly, I just try to look at everything like I'm aware that I'm a woman and I'm aware that you're a man and I'm aware that there are people who identify as what they choose to identify as, but
yeah,
I choose not to um like I okay, if I walk into a room and I'm like and I know that I'm because this is a male dominated industry. So if
mm,
I walk into a room where I know it's going to be mainly men and I am already in my head like, oh my goodness, I'm a woman. Are they gonna blah blah blah? Then I'm gonna be more prone to like thinking that, and they may not even be thinking that at all. You know what I'm saying? Or even having that mind frame. So
mm,
it's like I've just learned to um, really like again, I'm aware that I'm a woman in this industry, and there are gonna be things that I'm gonna have to say, and things that I'm gonna have to do that maybe my male counterparts may not have to. And I'm aware of that, but also at the same time, I'm also aware that I'm a human with a voice, and it's okay for me to use my voice wherever I feel like it's necessary. So instead of walking into it with the mind frame of like, okay, I have to be this woman in this
mm,
space, I'm just
yeah.
like, I'm a human with a voice, and I'm gonna speak up, and I'm gonna say what it is I need to say, and that's gonna be that.
Yeah, it's really just a sesh in the room, and when you good with energy, it's just like
Yeah,
you'll know when some man, but
yeah,
just to walk in and have it, like you said, it's more like a fear tactic, with
yeah.
self. But it's just like I say, it's just really evaluating to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So what would you say makes Olivia Joy different? Like, what do you offer listeners that only you can? Like I say, is you the only Olivia Joy. It might be some others out there that might run with the name, but the original, like I say, singer and songwriter, like what, like I say, what makes you different than other artists?
Um,
Well,
that's
what
a
would you say that make you stand out in a sense?
okay. What makes me stand out is the fact that well, the fact that I'm me, because like you said, there's no other me.
Mhm.
There's no other Olivia Joy that is me sitting here right now. So that's
Yeah.
definitely something that makes me stand out. But also the fact that I am a storyteller, I feel, and I'm just able to, I know that I have this way of being able to take my own experiences and forming it into a way that now it's like, other people can feel that from their own experiences. And that is such a gift and such a blessing. I literally thank God for that every day because I feel like that is one of the reasons that I've been called to this music. It's not just to make this music for me. Like this is not just for me at all. It is for everyone who hears it, everyone who
Mhm.
it can impact. Like impacting one person is a milestone for me. That makes me feel accomplished. That makes me feel like this is all worth it. So I think just the way that I'm able to use a lot of the different experiences that I've been through. And even if I'm not, describing them to the T of what happened, but just something that makes us all, like, we're different as humans, you know, but something that makes us all the same is our feelings and our emotions. We may have different experiences, but we all have the same range of emotions that we're going to
Yeah.
experience at some point in time. And I think that I'm just so okay with tapping into that in my music, and that is something that makes my music very special. And that's one of the reasons that I love my music. Like that's what makes me feel connected to my own music. Like even growing up, like, don't get me wrong, I love other people's music and other artists and stuff like that. And I was definitely artists I was influenced by, like we talked about before, but I've also just always loved writing my own things and doing my own thing, because I feel like that's where I have the ability to feel it the way that I want to feel it, and then translate it for other people who may be feeling the exact same thing, but maybe they don't know how to translate that, or maybe they never even thought about it that way, or maybe they have, but they felt alone in it, and it was like, is anybody else feeling this? But it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we all humans, and we experience different things, but we're feeling beings, and I'm a feeling being myself, and I know that everybody may not be tapped into their feelings, but that's definitely a gift that God gave me, and I'm able to use that in my music that way. So I feel like that's what makes me special.
Yeah, I always say we all connected. You know, we just got different lenses on how we see life and our perspectives, but we all connected in a way, you know. So that's really the main purpose of this platform here, you know, is just to get the real, raw and uncut story, because everybody, and really just highlight and give flowers too, you know, like give the appreciation for the work that, everybody's out here doing, whether you're an artist, entrepreneur, because your story is going to be inspiration to other people. Like, it's more so combating the negative narrative, and at the same time giving people the full spectrum, rather than a 60-second, because everybody thinks stuff is like microwave era now, especially social media. Like, nobody believes in the work or know the true story, or even if they get discouraged, they can just be like, okay, let me hear Olivia Joy's story, and let me hear all this and that, and then okay, I want to do that too, or whatever. And they can see like the process and everything. It might not be similar, but they just gonna know, like, I'm gonna have to go through some things, But at the end of the day, it's like you can't give up,
Yeah.
So congratulations as well on being included in the Orbit competition with Timbaland.
Oh, thank you.
What track did you submit, for the competition, and what made you choose that one to represent you?
You already know. We Are the Dream.
Mm-hmm.
We Are the Dream. Yeah. I submitted that one, and I'm in the 5th round now, so there's 8 rounds.
Yeah, it is.
I'm in the 5th one, so I'm like, anybody watching this, I need y'all to go and vote, and let's do this, because my drive for this is like, money is nice, but I want to win that money because I'm trying to fund my debut album. Like, I'm trying to put that specifically toward a project that is already it's written, it's ready. I've been ready and waiting on it. I'm just waiting to work on it with my producer. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, the 5th round. And so I'm just, praying that all just goes well. And honestly, even through it, outside of just the votes, for anybody who may be watching this, votes are nice, but when you hit the picture, when you go to the link is in my Instagram bio. Or I have a flyer posted to social medias where people can screenshot it and then scan the QR code, boom, like that. But even when you go and you click on the picture, it lets you listen to We Are the Dream. So honestly, for me, even people just going and listening to We Are the Dream, though it's not, through Orbit, it's not on, and it's not being streamed through a platform, and I'm not getting the numbers or whatever. I don't even care. I love when people listen to the music. I love when they enjoy the music. I love when the music makes them feel something. So even if people go and they click on the link and it's like, of course I want y'all to vote now. I want y'all to vote. But even going and just clicking on the picture and listening to the song, and if you get something from the song, wonderful. And I love that. But also I want to say, when people vote, if anyone chooses to purchase more votes, then it'll go toward Adopting Courage Foundation Incorporated. and that's basically a nonprofit organization that they work with undeserved youth. So they have partnered with Timbaland and with Orbit to be able to fund money for these kids. And so that is the money that is going toward the vote. That is not the money that is going to me. Just so everybody knows that money is not going to me. That is going directly to the kids and impacting change in the lives of others. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. I hope to, be able to work with Timbaland himself, because that's another perk of of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're just, on a roll with that. I don't
Well,
even know
yeah.
what the question was or if I answered it.
Nah, you did for sure.
Okay.
But nah, you got our support too. I end up submitting one of my records because my cousin actually working with him and stuff like that. So he told me to submit to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did it, but my thing was I just put it up. I think I made it to like the fourth round. I just put it up and just was like, whatever, come with it. It's so much going on. I be putting stuff in the universe and just let it come back around, But nah, definitely got support on that. And like I say, that's the type of record, that definitely needs that national recognition, So are there you got an album, that's coming out, so any collaborations you excited about you want to share, or, any new releases coming up for 2025? Like what's next for Olivia Joy?
Honestly, we're gonna kind of keep that on the hush hush for now.
Then.
But the album, definitely. The album itself. We Are the Dream is gonna be on the album.
Yeah.
But it's gonna have a little bit of a twist to it. So it's not gonna be the same version that everybody's used to hearing. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that. And I'm just also very excited to work with my producer Ghost again. He was great. And just being able to, for this body of work specifically, I am going to bring other musicians in on the session so I can have live instruments on the tracks and stuff. So I'm very, very excited to do
That's
that.
gonna be tough.
No, I've never done that before, so I'm very excited.
I can see that. Like, and you'll have to do like a live performance type of video with that, with the instruments. Yeah, because back in the day, like when it say 80s, like Michael Jackson era, they had real live bands like in the studio.
Instruments.
Yeah, like analog, So
they used to have to get stuff in like one take and just figure it out. Yeah, like it was no going back and continuing to like
Yeah, nah, and then like you say, fast forward where we at now, having home studios, now that type of stuff is all in the software. Like I always tell people, no matter where you record at, it's all about who engineering and what they do with that software, or what software they're recording on, So, but I like the timing that we're in now, because I started in the era where it was still CDs, and like this was kind of fairly new with the digital. Like, think Audacity and Pro Tools was kind of still around then. It was kind of like shifting over, but just to see what was then now to now, like it's so much like you can do it yourself,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So let's talk about We Are the Dream. So you say, I know it's hard in a world full of scars to feel right, not wrong, but you and I can dream. What does that lyric mean to you now?
Whew, that lyric carries so much weight. It's crazy. And by the way, I really love that background. I keep looking at it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, your virtual screen. I love it. That lyric means exactly what it says. Like, it is hard out here. Like you said, life be lifing for real. For real. Oh my goodness. Whew, unexplainable sometimes, but it's hard out here. And so it's like, even through it being tough and through all the trials and tribulations and everything that life throws our way, the ups, the downs, the roller coasters, the getting off track, the getting back on track, through all of that, like, we are still the dream at the end of the day. We are still the dream. That doesn't change anything. If anything, it makes us more the dream because it makes us human. And it's all a part of the process of dreaming and being a dream liver, like I like to say. Yeah, it's just all a part of the process, and it doesn't take away from us being the dream. And so I hope that when people listen to that line specifically, they still feel like they can dream even through all of that. Like they can dream and like they are the dream because we are the dream.
Yeah, I like how you say we are the dream because
Yeah.
it's like we all are, our own. We got our own dreams,
Yeah.
not the American dream, but we might just
Exactly.
got it's the dream that we have within self. So that's what creates the purpose, the passion, and fuel everything. Because I'm so big on like you got to know yourself first. It's a lot of leg work of finding yourself. Once you find yourself and know your purpose, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like cruise control.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
fact. So
Mm-hmm.
your music carries messages of resilience, healing, and joy. What do you hope people take away when they hear your voice? Take away from the music.
Um, I hope that people feel human. I really just hope that people feel human. And like they're in a safe place and a judgment free zone. Um, so much of our society today is
Mm.
focused around expectation and standards and tradition and what everyone has an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has
Yeah.
an opinion about how things should be, how you should feel, how you should go about doing something. But it's like, yo, at the end of the day, we are all just human out here trying to make it happen, trying to do what we got to do, just like the next person is. So
Yeah.
I just hope that people, when they listen to my music, they feel human and they feel free to be themselves. Because honestly, like it took me a while to even get to where I am now, and I'm still growing in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I fully arrived at that, but I definitely feel more free to just be myself, more free to just allow myself to just be whoever I want to be whenever I want to be and still
Mm-hmm.
know that I'm that girl at the end of the day. So it's like I hope that people feel that. I hope that people feel that like they are that human and
Mm-hmm.
that they can dream, and it's no judgment. It's no judgment with me, and honestly I hope to build a community of just a judgment free zone. Like let us all just be free and live our life the way we want to live it, and just have fun because I believe we only get one, and I
Yeah.
just want to live it up.
You only get one chance at this one.
Yeah.
We probably had past lives, but I mean at this one we got one chance. So, but
Yes.
yeah, nah, I don't. I respect that because I don't live off opinions. Like I'm
Yeah.
one of them people. I think it might be because I'm a creative, but I just move in this world like on how I feel or what to do. Somebody could say something to me, especially if it's not nothing encouraging. If you like, that ain't gonna work, or maybe you should do. I take it advice. Like if I'm like, hey, if I'm looking for it, but opinions, I don't live off that. I just when I leave and I walk out the house and I walk in this world, I be moving on my time and my bubble because it's like they say the world don't revolve around you, but it's your planet because it's your eyes and what you perceive the
Mhm.
world as.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like I can't just be running around off opinions because that's gonna change. Like I'm not in full control of myself at that point. I feel, if
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying living off opinions that they say do it like this, okay, let me go do this, and then
Yeah.
somebody else gonna say do this, let me run over here and do like you can't live
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
you
and that's
know.
not like full freedom.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely learned through this past year alone, like how what freedom for me looks like, and I'm still consistently tapping into that, and I love that. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like it just like I feel more free when I'm moving just how I want to move. Like I don't feel like I have to walk on eggshells. I don't feel like I have to do there's nothing I have to do. Like
Right.
the thing that feels good to me, like I always say there's actually a song on the album. I'll give this little nugget. There's a
Okay.
song on the album. It's called Little Voice. And it talks about like a little voice that we all have within us that speaks to us, but we don't always listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think when I started listening to that little voice and I started just tapping into that, and some people may call it intuition, some people may call it a gut feeling, some people may not actually hear a voice, but whatever that is for you, for me, it's a little voice, but for whatever that is for whoever, like, that's the thing that I feel like we should listen to. And I tap into that. And so that also, like, have you ever heard someone be like, the first thought that you have, that's the thought that you should go with?
Yeah.
Because that's like of course, depending upon
Yeah.
yeah, like where your mind is at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've realized that for me. Like, there were so many times that I was like, all right, maybe I should, it could be something as simple as, maybe instead of wearing red, I should have worn purple. And I had a thought about it, and I was like, dang, but I went with the purple. I pushed it off and was like, you know what, I'm gonna just wear the purple. Then I get somewhere, and maybe it's some kind of event, and like the theme has something to do with red. Like, it can be something so simple, and it's like, and then it's like, dang. And you ever, like, I've heard myself say so many times in the past, like, oh dang, I had a thought to do that and I didn't do it.
Yeah. I know that. I feel like.
Yeah, so it's like, all right. So after so many times of doing that, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me just embrace that little voice and let me just tap into that first thought idea. And that has opened up so many opportunities. That has given me courage, a sense of courage and boldness to be able to walk in. So, but going back to what we were talking about, like, yeah, it helps me to access that freedom, and I'm in agreement with you.
Nah, for sure. Like, that's really the most important thing. It's like, we already living in a world where they're trying to restrict you to have a certain mind or thought, condition you to certain things. Whether it's however people believe with religion, when it comes to going through education, not like education in the sense of college, but like then the beginning stages of telling us all type of things, as kids. So, but once you just break the chains in your mind, it's just like it feels so much free. But I think that's being a creative, because we look at the world different, So if you can manifest one personal goal and one music career milestone before the end of this year, because we have you on manifesting, like, what's something that you want to speak to existence?
Something I want to speak to existence is that's a good one. Okay, outside of my album, because that's a given. But yeah, I definitely want to speak my album into existence. But I also want to we're just gonna jump. I want to perform We're the Dream at a like in front of thousands of people, like at a stadium or at a large event or something, 1,000+ people. Like, I wanna go and sing We're the Dream and like just feel like a dream liver and connect with all those people like that.
Yeah, I could see that being one of them records.
It's like 400. So I'm excited to just like see, like, go to that next step for me in my journey.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Like I say, it's one of them records. Like you say, when something that be timeless, like you can hear that being repetitive, and like I say, definitely movie placements or something with that. It gotta have, even if it's a TV series or something, like that sound like one of them songs that'll be on a Netflix show or something. Like,
oh, thank you.
So what would you say to the young dreamer out there, right now, sitting in their room writing lyrics and imagining the stage?
That you can do it. You can do it. You could do whatever you want to do. Like, there are no limitations for you. You can do whatever it is that you want, regardless of whether or not you feel like someone may take it a certain way, or if someone may whatever. Like, you sitting down with that pen and that paper and you writing it out, or if you're not a writer and you're just a singer, whatever the dream is, even if it's not an artist, and someone is dreaming to be a doctor, or they're dreaming to just run a dog breeding business, or whatever the dream is, that you can do it. And as soon as you remove the limitations from your own mind, so many possibilities open up, like so many possibilities. And it took me a while to realize that, but and it's hard because again, we live in a world full of scars, so it's hard to feel right, not
Mhm.
wrong. But yeah, as soon as we remove those limitations, nothing is nothing is impossible, really. Like when we were kids, we used to our imagination used to dream up literally everything. And it's
Mhm.
like we still have that same amount of childlike faith. We still have that same amount of childlike accessibility to dream within us,
Yeah.
and it's able to be brought out. So it just, and also congratulations to you, because the fact that someone can sit and acknowledge that they have a dream and make that first step toward it, that is very important, because that first step is usually like the hardest thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just get into that first little oomph, whatever that is. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Like it's been like that for me since like music been embedded in me since a
Yes.
kid. So once I hit my first, like they let me know, like my formula always been and always gonna be stick to the crowd. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm very humble with a lot of things just because I had that one experience that let me know like this is how the universe works.
Mhm.
If you just give your all to whatever you're doing, like I don't set my mind on it's about the money or it's about trying to do this or it's this and that. Like it was no such things as likes and views and all that type of stuff when I started. You know, it was YouTube was kind of starting, but the world wasn't like how it is now. So I wasn't influenced by anything outside of the crowd.
Yeah.
So it's like when I had that first, I always piggyback when I had my first opportunity when I did demo shopping with record labels. So this before, like I said, social media, we had to have an agent that knows somebody
Yeah.
and they go up there and do all the work for you and everything like that. Go to New York where all the labels was at one point in time and shop my music. I worked with certain artists and stuff back then and producers that was industry standard. So it's like just that one experience fueled everything else, you know. So it's like I don't know. I'm just like, this the dream, you know? It's
Yeah.
just a dream. 10, 12 years later, I signed with Empire. Like, it's just
That's
the
dope.
gaps in the middle, you know, but just me knowing like whatever you do, if it's like you being a singer, artist, and music, what comes with that? Like, what comes with the package?
Yeah.
Podcasting, I didn't know all this stuff came with I didn't come into podcasting and be like, I'm gonna be a podcaster. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. I just came with my heart put into it and knew my purpose. And once I found my purpose, like I tell people, it's not no scripted thing. This is real, genuine energy. This is a real, genuine purpose. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for nothing out of it, but everything came in the package that I didn't expect. You know,
Yeah.
opportunities, all type of stuff. Like, so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I feel good about that. Like when that's my formula. I tell people, I always just whatever you doing, however you do it, the universe gonna put it right there in your path. You know,
Most
you ain't
definitely.
gonna see it coming. It don't come when you want it to come, but it happens still. You know.
Come on. Yeah.
You just gotta stay consistent though. You know, consistency is the only cheat code. There's nothing special. It's just repetition. And
Yep.
keep, building your network and meeting people and pouring good energy out to people, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of how they say karma. When people do bad stuff, karma come right
Right.
after them. But when
Mhm.
you flipping and reverse it, you do good, you pour good on the people and stuff like that. Good is gonna come your way, you know. So that's how my energy is and my faith. But
Yeah.
so like I say, it
I
was
feel
an
that
honor.
from you too. I feel that from you. Like when you reached out to me, I
Mhm.
knew, like, I could see where your heart, like I can feel your heart in what you do.
Yeah, nah,
Kudos
it's
to you.
all genuine, you know. So like I say, it can if the podcast had 20 people listening or however going on, like it's just in my heart to do what I'm doing. But I just like how everything is going. I didn't expect stuff, but I'm like, hey, well, this what comes with it, you know, because
Yeah.
I didn't know what was gonna come. I just was like, we need to change the narrative because I with my co-host, the one sitting right there, on the photo, but
Okay.
It was just really changing narrative because as an artist, I was tired of like certain platforms promoting negativity, especially cultural with our people. So I said, you know what, we're gonna change the narrative. I'm not one of the people that sit back and got 1,000 complaints about something, but I'm not producing anything to help the problem. So
Yeah.
it's like once we did that, because I'm like, okay, at one point in time, the news used to control our narrative. You know, when people watch TV back then, before social media nowadays, like the news would put this narrative out about our culture and just whatever go on the news, people believe it. You know, now we got the internet where we can control the narrative. We
Yeah.
can do, you know, it's the, like you say, the freedom. We got the
Yeah.
freedom to control stuff. So, but yeah, that was my sole purpose. But like I say, you know, it was an honor to have you on the platform, Olivia Joy. You know, make sure y'all go follow on our platform. Make sure y'all go stream. You know, we are the dream. You know, and just be stay tuned. You know, like I say, it was an honor to have you on here to give your time. You know, you got endless support from us. We always gonna share, repost. You know, any way we can help. You know, so
Thank you so much.
um, this ain't gonna be the last one. This is just the introductory episode. I want to say in the story, getting to know you. But we do well. We do wellness checks on people too. All our guests over
Okay.
100 some people. Whatever. We just make sure everybody on track. Y'all, what y'all got going on? What y'all doing? You know, so
Yeah.
it's more of a family type of thing going on over here. You know, so like I
Gotcha.
say, we always gonna make sure, you know, because like it's needed, you know, people to check in and see what's going on. You know, I'm an artist myself and got everything going on, but I'm so much of supporting other people. Like I don't even be worrying about what I got going on because I'm getting my flowers for that. That stuff gonna come. You know, I'm already doing my thing. So but yeah, I just feel like, you know, creating this cycle is gonna bring a lot of good more things, you know. So
Yeah.
definitely. But last but not least, before we get you out of here, you know, the ultimate question we ask everybody: when it comes to the word underdog, what does it mean to you, or when you just hear the word underdog?
Underdog means to me when I hear underdog, I think of a person who is willing to continue to get back up regardless of what happens, regardless of how many times they done been knocked down, regardless of how many people don't believe in them and what they're doing. Um, and most of the time, you know, that is an underdog. Like a lot of the time, there may be people who believe, but there's still a lot of people who don't, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they're still having to do, and then along with them doing, then people start to believe. But being able to like believe in ourselves that way, I think that that's at least what resonates with me when I hear the word underdog. Like just continuing to get back up and get back up and go again and again and again, and going in fear, going in confusion, going in not feeling the most like confident about it, like just going anyway and getting
Mm-hmm.
back up and doing it. Like that's an underdog to me. And you know, whether or not people believe, that ain't the problem. It's up to us to, you know, just be and do, and the right people will come when they come.
Nah, that's facts. Like I
Yeah.
always say, everybody favorites your favorites that people be seeing on TV or, you know, whatever going on. Like they all had to start from the same regimen. You know, nobody started at the top. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like the groundwork. You know, and like you say, people don't see it at first, but then when it happens, it's like, oh, I always believed in you and take me with you, and like, you know, but. Nah, it's. I feel like, you know, if things would come as fast to us as we want it, we not gonna appreciate the journey or have a
Oh
story
my
to talk
gosh.
about. You know,
Yes, you are
so
speaking. Mhm.
so yeah, it's definitely important that we go through that. You know, but like
Yeah.
I say, it was an honor to have you on the platform. You know, we on season 9 right now, over 100 episodes, 100 guests. I lost count. I don't even count no more. Shout
Yeah.
out the Experience Television Network that we just joined as well. You know, like I say, just stay tuned. You know, like I say, appreciate you having you on the platform. There was season 5, episode 9. We are the Dream, featuring singer, songwriter Olivia Joy, Charlotte's on. And I appreciate you. We're gonna tap in with you.
Rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granted. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon.
I'm enlightened, check, I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granted. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic.